Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business, and let's wake up the football gods here. I've been doing some work here at the house and stuff on E2 Blues table, as well as doing some work down here in the Joe Boo studios, and I think I actually have solved my issue that I had last night where the stream ended up dying. Basically, the software I used uses a lot of CPU up, and when I stream the comments off that same computer, literally it's just kind of like, look dude, you're trying to too much, I'm taking a nap. So I've actually got a second computer set up that will just do the stream from Facebook so I can read all your comments and everything else. What you don't actually see is I actually have two monitors that are right behind the camera, so I can look at the live stream and I can see the comments and still keep focus this way, as well as having all of the controls for the camera system and the software right there as well, so that way I can keep focused straight ahead. So I'm learning. I'm a person who has never had any experience with doing anything like this, actually even sitting behind the desk, much less running the controls or everything else at the same time. So I'll probably do a test stream later on to see if I've gotten it straight, and I think I've actually got the system balanced for just using the one camera with the software for live streaming, so I don't have to change the audio settings. So hopefully we will be good to go when we do our streams and stuff. So I've been doing some work here. I'm going to get better, and by the time the season gets here, we're going to be great. So here we are. We've done free agency. We've done the draft. We've kept the players that we think we're going to keep. And it's funny because when you listen to some people, they'll say, why do we keep this guy? Why do we keep that guy? He's a bust, so forth. He's a bum, can't stay healthy, whatever. And the thing you got to understand is you have to fit everybody under a cap. You have to fit everybody in number of players, having only 53. And you've got to figure out which ones are the ones you're going to prioritize. And you can't always just go ahead and get the best player at every position, being an all-pro team. You have to have a balance of young and old and so forth to make that team work. Well, one of the things that a lot of people are like, get rid of Sean Lee. Why are we bringing him back? He's a bum. He can't stay healthy. Well, Sean Lee, when healthy, is still one of the best linebackers in football. Sean Lee's knowledge of the game, he has more knowledge than some of the coaches that are out there. And I believe that the reason why you see Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith as good as they are is because of the presence of a Sean Lee, a guy who's been there, a guy who knows so much, who can be working with them and telling him what he sees in real time. That is a major benefit that is lost in translation. But not only that, because Van Der Esch and because Jalen Smith are so good, you can change the role of Sean Lee having to be that starter, that guy that's going to take all that abuse, and you can pick and choose where to play him. And if you have to bring him off the bench, better to bring an all-pro off the bench than somebody who doesn't know. What's interesting, though, because if we talk about Sean Lee's injuries, when we look at his statistics, whenever Sean Lee has been injured, he's come back with a vengeance. After his rookie year with 32 tackles, he came back with 104. After 2014, where he missed the season because he blew his knee out, and it was a knee that was supposedly injured basically from college on, had it operated on, met Joe Boo, and famously said, Joe Boo, I need you to keep me healthy and keep me on the field. He broke out into the best stretch of his professional career. 128 tackles, 145 and 101. So from the standpoint of him coming back from injury, going off, that's a great thing. But here's the other thing that's amazing in itself too. I think back to Dan Marino with the Miami Dolphins. As a young player, it seemed like everything was coming easy to him. Literally, he was in the Super Bowl right away. And always figured, I'll be back. I'll get that ring. you know. But even though he had great year after great year after great year, never got anywhere close to that Super Bowl. And the one thing that he looks back on is like, I wish I had that ring. So when you get a guy like Sean Lee, who knows that the end is near, who came close to not being here this year, you look at life differently. Your desires get that much stronger. Your will gets that much stronger. And when you listen to his words, this is exactly what it is. I think at that point, the frustration of dealing with injuries, particularly how the last 2 years have gone, was tough for me, he said. And that's something that I really had to battle. Luckily, I was able to get around great teammates, great guys, great defense, great guys in the locker room, and seeing our team grow from where it was in the middle of the season until the end. It was something that I said, I have to find a way to be part of it. I love this group. And then a couple of weeks you're out there like, man, I like football too much to give it up right now. So all that together kind of brought me back. For us, we know we had a good job last year, Lee said, but we have to find a way to take the next step and hopefully break through to get a championship. To me, that's what I've wanted to be part of in the worst way throughout my career. And I'm trying to do whatever it takes to get there. And that's what we're trying to figure out now. And what I'm telling you is this is a player who realizes his mortality. This is, for him, this season is his bucket list. This is his one shot, his one opportunity to finally put the signature on his career. And I'm going to tell you, the most dangerous person in the world is someone who has nothing to lose. And that's where Sean Lee and Jason Witten are right now. So when you look at those guys play beyond the field is even bigger than the play on the field. Because you get those young guys that know what it means to be a Dallas Cowboys, because what they've been taught by a Jason Witten and a Sean Lee, guys that they've looked up to. The things that they've learned from them. The reason why they know they're playing better is because of what I've learned because of those guys. What happens is the players around you want to do it, not only for themselves, but for those guys that were the forefronters of them. And that could be a strong, strong force. There's not a lot of difference between winning and losing. There's not a lot of difference between the talent on the field. Now, there is a big difference between, some teams. But when you're talking about the Cowboys versus the Eagles, right now, they're neck and neck as far as talent goes. They're neck and neck as far as desire goes. There's not a lot of difference between them, which is why you've seen them battling the last couple of years for dominance in the NFC East. Sometimes it's that little thing right there, that win one for the giver, that it's bigger than just me. We need to win one for these guys and send them out on that high. And that, my friends, can be really, really powerful. So that hopefully answers the question of why you bring back a Sean Lee to this team. Leadership. Backup role with his play on the field that can give you that little edge. That motivation factor. And a guy who has literally given everything to the team. He deserves to go out his way. And the same thing goes true for Jason Witten. And we've had too many great players that have been on this team that didn't walk away having that ring. And you can look at Tony Romo. I'm sad that that guy doesn't have one. I know, because everybody thinks that I hate Tony Romo, but I'm not. I wish that a lot of these great players that we have finish their career with a ring from the Dallas Cowboys. But sometimes it's just not meant to be. And you can look at somebody like Dan Marino. Football, it's hell, but there's nothing like it. So guys, that's all I got to say right about now. But as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. And look today around, say, 5:30 for a little live stream test run as I go through and try and tweak the system a little more. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you guys soon.